Hello all, Marco here to show you a game called The Glade. This game came out on the Steam store in November 2021. The game has tags such as first person, crafting, and open world. That describes a lot of games. It's currently listed as an early access game, meaning that the game is not considered to be finished, but players can follow the game as it progresses through the development cycle. Unfortunately though, this game might be abandoned, as the developer has not posted on the Steam store discussions for a while, and some people are already asking if it's been abandoned. Therefore, we're going to be taking a look at what is currently available, and see if it's worth the money, especially because it is a rather low-cost game. It's only $5.69 Canadian, or around $4.27 US dollars, and at the time of this video, it's 20% off. Can we get our money's worth? Let's take a look. The game has both a survival mode and story mode. We're going to take a look at the survival mode first and then check out the story mode. The screenshots show various content such as a flying dragon, a merchant, a horse, and random buildings. Before starting this up, let's take a look at the features listed on the store page. Explore a beautiful open world set on 2 large picturesque islands. Build a place to come home to after a long day of looting and slaying evil. Craft tools, weapons, and resources to survive, gather, and fight. Enter abandoned buildings and scavenge through the old world to find items of use. Tend to your character's needs. Hunger, thirst, stamina. Hunt animals to harvest meat to survive. Enjoy a full dynamic day and night cycle. Visit merchants on the islands to buy valuable resources. I don't think there's enough content in the game to warrant a full playthrough, so we're just going to have this one video on it just to take a look at The Glade. I'm already partway into the survival mode of the game. I've already gathered plenty of resources to give myself the basic tools and to make a simple shelter. Around us we'll find some of the various crafting stations. Over here we have a bed which you use to pass the night, storage chests, which I find something kind of odd on here. This won't let you store all of the items you can get in the game. Along the left-hand side and right shows the items that you can move from your inventory to the storage box. But when you press tab, brings up the inventory. All this alchemical and consumable stuff can't be stored. I don't know why, but you can't. Currently showing that I'm tired, so I will sleep. But here in this section here, you have all your crafting options. Basic resources like sticks, stones, planks, rope, floors, ceilings for building, appliances where you're going to find campfire, workbench, furnace, and so on. Hunting traps, a hunting hide, rabbit deer trap, miscellaneous, floor torches, flower beds, and so on. So let me quickly pass the night here because I do see that my tiredness meter is high, which is something I find kind of odd. 4 of the meters, health, hunger, thirst, and stamina, when the circle is full, that's good because it means that you're full, like your hunger is full and your stamina is full. And when it gets low, that's bad, you're going to run out of it. But the radiation and fatigue are the opposite. When those two are low, it's good, and when the circle starts filling, then it's bad. Over here we have an alchemy table. You can mix a few basic things, health potion, rad medicine. Over here is a tailor table to make a armored coat and craft some boots. And you'll find those corresponding items in here. It's under alchemy. You find different items to make the alchemy stuff out of. Health potion, water, rad medicine at the bottom. I got 15 rad medicine. Oh, that medicine's real rad, man. Oh, I feel old. Then just outside, there's the campfire and the furnace. The furnace is used for crafting metal, arrows, and bullets. Just a moment, I'm going to pass the night because my character is getting tired. So sweetie. There we go. Then I'll consume a full few bits of food and water. Water can be recovered, thirst can be recovered either by drinking bottles of water, consuming fruit, which will restore both hunger and thirst, or you can also drink directly from like a stream or a river. we're going to go over the basics. Earlier on when you start the game, you can't craft any tools until you pick up enough sticks and stones. Then you can craft a workbench to make a axe and a pick. The axe, of course, is for gathering wood. Not all trees will allow you to get wood. Like this, if a resource node will allow you to gather from it, a little icon will appear, like on this one that has the pickaxe showing. This one doesn't show the axe, meaning I can't get wood from that, which is kind of odd. You can get wood from these, like, fallen logs. And it'll take several hits, and your character is very enthusiastic about it, too. Hooah! 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 No need to pick up any resources, as it automatically goes into your inventory. And rocks are the same. This is actually an iron boulder. This will just get iron ore, where these boulders will just get stone. The iron ore is used in the smelter in order to make metal. Over there is something similar, but it's gold, and I believe that you use gold to sell with a merchant. Here you can pick up a mushroom, and mushrooms are edible. Not everything is pick-upable, like these flowers are not pick-upable. This is fruit, this is pick-upable. I'm not even sure if that's a valid word, but pick-upable just sounds funny. Now, these weird black and red egg things are just that, they're eggs. If you get close to them, this little flying creature will pop out of it. Come back here. There. They don't take that many hits. I think they only take like 2 arrows to take down. They disappear even if you're fast enough to hack at it with the axe. They don't leave anything behind. So we're going to travel through this forest so you get an idea of what the landscape is like. Yeah, are these... chop these trees? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's indicating that yes, I can chop this tree. Something I don't like is the placement of tools. You notice on the right how it has the axe, sword, pickaxe, and bow. Those are set in those numbered spots. Like, you don't have the option of moving those to different numbers, which I find kind of annoying because I usually like my tools at certain numbers. Something else I don't like about the game is the window interface. Most games, whenever you bring up something like an inventory or character sheet, you can then press escape to close it again. This one you can't. You have to click on the X. And the X isn't always in the same spot either. Like here, when I open up the resources, the X is in the upper right. But when I go to like one of the crafting stations, the X might be in a different area, like a different part of the screen. This is the area that I started with. You'll find these like what look like ranger lookout stations that you might find in like a national park. These are scattered scattered about. So here's an example. If I go to the furnace, the X is now at the bottom, and here's a workbench. The X is at the bottom, but like I said, in my resources, it's in the upper right. It's like if the X was in the same spot, that wouldn't be as bad. You'll find these points of interest scattered throughout. Like over there, we find some shipping crates, and we're going to go check out this watchtower. They usually have some kind of random loot or equipment that you can pick up. Like here, it's just a bottle of water, rad medicine, piece of gold, iron ore, more rad medicine. So when I started, it was all about just grabbing these little stones, grabbing sticks, grabbing enough wood until you can get a workbench going. The shipping crates, all those glowing items are just random loot you can pick up. And all the resources spawn when you relog into the game. Like if you save the game, close it, come back into the world, all the resources respawn again. Over here we have an interesting area. I believe this is supposed to be like a radiation area, but I don't know how to defend against it because my character does have a radiation gas mask, which I crafted and it doesn't seem to have any effect. But if you go into this area, you'll see it starts turning like a green hazy, and then your radiation level will go up. The radiation is the gas mask symbol at the bottom. One time when I played, I did get that radiation level to full, in which case you just continually take damage. To resolve it, just consume some rad medicine. We're just going to continue walking around. Take a drink from the water here. There. We'll continue walking around until we find a point of interest. So we've already encountered those black and red eggs. Okay, up ahead we see some random buildings, so it looks like a ruined town of some sort. And it appears that this is a static map. I never got the option to enter it, seed or anything like that. So it appears that this map is set. Over here is just wheat. So you can pick these up. You can cook the wheat in the campfire to make bread. And just like the other points of interest, this area will have random loot to pick up. I find that the arrows are very handy, as well as water, because you can drink bottled water on the go, but you might not, because you might not always come across water that often. And arrows are great, because they're the easiest thing to take enemies out of. So here's one of the merchants. Kind of interesting, because this game looks like it's supposed to take place like in modern times. I don't know, maybe you're on an alien world or something. So you go to here, and that's it. He doesn't seem to offer to buy anything from you. Like, there's no sell option. You can just buy these items from him. I only have 7 gold. Gold's really easy to get. I'm just going to get a few more water in the meantime. Water, strangely enough, bottled water is the only way to make the gas mask. When you go... Hold on, I just see that spider approaching me. Yeah, pretty easy to take out. Just a standard practice, just keep walking backwards. Let's try that again. To craft the gas mask, which I already have, it requires 3 plastic. Plastic requires empty bottles. Where do you get empty bottles from? Water. So you consume the water and it gives you a plastic bottle. Deers can be killed for... each deer gives you 2 raw meat and 1 leather. They're kind of tricky to go against because they're always running around and jumping like idiots. I usually find that taking them out with the bow and arrow is the best way. For here we have an enemy spawning point, and one of these floating rocks. I don't know what this does, or if it does anything, because I've been able to kill these enemies, and then wander around the rock in the red haze, and nothing happens. It is an early access game, so maybe that content was supposed to have been added in later. But it's not currently available now. Oh, it appears to be some more points of interest. Maybe another town over here. Some more dilapidated buildings. Doesn't seem to be anybody about. If it's just like the other buildings we encountered, it'll basically be nothing here except for some random loot. More arrows are always handy. Yeah, the enemy AI is almost non-existent. If you craft plenty of arrows, you can usually just stay away from them and shoot them from a distance. there's like a church-like structure with some crypts. There's a rabbit. If you kill a rabbit, you get one raw meat out of it. That's it. So we'll keep exploring this area until we come across something else of interest. If you look up in the sky, there's all these like red circles. I would imagine there's probably some kind of story behind that, but maybe we'll encounter that in the story mode. Ooh, there's like a big hill. Maybe we'll try to get to the top of that. Give us a better look at what else is around here. Oh, you can't drink from this water. I guess it's too shallow? Like there's not enough water here to drink out of. Oh, a couple more of those exploding eggs. There appears to be a lot of gold over here. Is that all gold or are those different things? This looks... Because these look different. What's this stuff? Okay, that's gold. What about this orange stuff then? This definitely looks different. It's different. It's a different shade. That's the gold is like more yellowy and this is more orangey. Unless it's just a trick of the light, maybe? Guess we'll find out in a few seconds. Okay, it is just gold. I guess it's just weird lighting. There's a bunch of these eggs, which I don't feel like bothering with for now. The crystals are used for making alchemy stuff. I'm not going to bother with any of that right now. Let's just keep going until we get on top of that tall mountain. It's not really a mountain, it's more like a hill. Sometimes the animals' footsteps can be pretty loud, even the rabbits. Like there's some crystals which aren't guarded by anything, so they're easy to harvest. There's some more water, so maybe we've come to the other side of the island. Because the features of the game did describe it that there's 2 picturesque islands, so it looks like the maps are limited in size. It's just going to be islands, and that's it. I guess this will give us an idea of how big the island is. Okay, yeah, so we've definitely come to the other side of the island. Yeah, there's my home. Just past there is where I started from. Yeah, so this is the whole island right here. This is the entire plain area. Okay, this looks like interest. Looks like something of interest. It's like another town. It's got some strange half-cylinder buildings. Health is a little low, so I might as well consume a health potion while I'm here. Looks like there's more fields of wheat. Oh, yeah. Is that something happening here? No other enemies nearby? Oh, there's a big nest. I wonder if it's going to be susceptible to arrows just like the other creatures. Let's find out. Of course, I can't tell if... Whoa! Okay. Well, that's good to know. These giant barrels of hay are just illusionary. I would imagine that the arrows are hurting it. There's not really any way of indicating. There's like no health bar or any way to indicate if this guy's taking damage. It's a good thing it's slow. It's just easy to kite it. don't want to go in the red circle yet, so I don't know if it's dangerous. Oh, there we go. Wait, what? Its footsteps continued after it dropped? Okay, so here's this giant floaty thing. What happens if we go in? Nothing happens. Okay. It is an early access game, so maybe there was supposed to be something here, but it's not featured. It appears I'm getting cold. I see a snowflake symbol near the bottom. Let's just take a quick look around the town. See if there's anything else of interest. Appears to be just like the other locations. Empty, but there's some random loot to pick up. So that's pretty much all there is in the survival game. It's very basic. You know, gather sticks and stones, build better equipment, you can build a base. Fight some brain-dead AI monsters. I'll go check out the story mode, see if it's worth taking a look at. So I guess you'll find out in a few seconds. I played several hours of the story mode, and I didn't really see much of a story. Most of it started off just like the survival mode. Other than the opening, you start off on a beach, and then you run around, gather resources. Over there, you'll notice I have a home indicator because I have a home setup. But other than that, it was just running around, gathering resources. Now we come across these structures over here, which I don't know if they actually have any purpose. You can take a look at them, and they have like these varying heights. Nothing happens when you get near them. Nothing happens when you strike them. So I don't know what the purpose of those are. There's this glowing light, which seems to draw your attention, so you probably want to head over there. And we will be heading over there shortly. Just up here is one of these monster spawning areas. In the survival mode, nothing happened. Like after I took out the creatures, then nothing happened anyways. Like I went out under the rock, went into the red area, and there seemed to be no noticeable effect. Now that we're in story mode, we'll see if something happens. Yeah, so these guys sometimes drop loot, sometimes not. So we'll go into the red area. And yeah, nothing seems to happen. And this is in the story mode now, so I don't know what purpose that's going to serve. Looks like it is slowly building up some radiation. Over there's one of the bigger rock areas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check out that big rock area, see if it has like a boss or something in it, and if that has any effect. I'll be right back. So we're getting closer to the big rock area. I checked out as much points of interest as I came across. Like over on that hill, there's a windmill. There's nothing there. It's empty. There's a few like random bits of material outside. There's more of these odd structures which don't seem to have anything. Now we're going to see if because this rock is bigger than the other rocks that spawn the little guys. We're going to see if maybe this might spawn okay, yeah, the elemental guy. If I recall, in the survival mode, this thing took 20 arrows to take down. Let's see if something happens if we take it out this time. I made sure to craft plenty of arrows. I figured there's no point in even risking going in melee with the guy. I haven't been counting my arrows, so we'll just keep going until he drops. Now, there's a reason why I think that there's a purpose to taking out these enemies. So let's go into the middle and see if something happens. Okay, so it adhered to a teleported me. Okay, so it just teleported me to a random location, I guess? I think that's where I was, over there? Well, let's just head down and we'll take a look at the glowing beacon up to the sky, because there was something of interest there. For the most part, the story mode of the game is your boat got struck by a meteor, you crashed on a shore, you run around, gather basic resources, you can build a structure if you want, build some crafting stations, build materials, gather food and water for survival. There's some enemies to fight, but they all have pretty weak AI. This, I think, is supposed to be the finale of the game. And you'll know what I mean when we get close. Because already when you get near it, you see more of these structures, but they sort of form like a circle around it. Already you should realize that this is a area of importance. You get these hexagon-shaped steps that lead up to here. And so this is why I think this has some importance. I would imagine that maybe you're supposed to collect something from each of those locations. Like I defeated this guy, so maybe you're supposed to collect something and drop it here, and then once you get everything, then this force field disappears and maybe it teleports you somewhere. I don't know. There's no story, there's no journal. The only thing that I found was if you bring up the book, it's a survival book which just tells you about resources. Build a furnace to smelt metal and craft items and so on. That's really all there is in the game. It's just a very simple resource gathering, simple fighting game. Normally when I make these videos in my Take a Look series, I don't try to persuade people not to play, but there really isn't that much to this game. It is cheap. Like I said, it's only a few dollars if you wanted to check it out for yourself. It's an early access, and it might be abandoned, but even abandoned games sometimes make a comeback. Another odd thing about the game is that it only offers one save. That's it. Whether you played a story mode or the survival map, you can only have one save. Every time you choose story mode or survival, it warns you, that it's going to delete the other save, so that's kind of odd too. But this is all I'm going to do in this game. I think we've seen pretty much all there is. I'm not going to bother trying to play this game to figure out what the whole story is or get to the end. If you have played the game yourself and you completed it, let me know in the comments. Like, was it worth it? Did it have an interesting ending? I'm just going to end it here. That's it for this video. Take care, everyone.